All right, I just did a video about Jessica Mulroney, the ex-bestie that Meghan tossed aside like last season's handbag, which isn't exactly sitting quietly in the corner. Nope, she's rumored to be sharpening her pen for a juicy tell-all. But here's the thing, she might not be the only one. Oh yes, buckle up because this is starting to look a lot less like the Duchess Diaries and more like a live-action Mean Girls sequel, only with grown women, million-dollar deals, and a whole lot of bad blood. Meghan's so-called girl squad, and I'll say that as loosely as possible because not everybody was friends with her, but they could be plotting an epic coordinated takedown. Forget the plastics, this is the Sussex Squad meltdown and it might get messy. Let's get started. Hello everyone, I'm Star Chairs, and in this channel we analyze videos and articles through the lens of PR. Now, before anybody rolls their eyes and say, oh my gosh, Star, this is just radar gossip, it has no truth, it's not valid, I would say, hold on. This is exactly why we need to look at the articles through the lens of PR. Because whether the story is exaggerated or not, the perception is everything. PR isn't about whether something is true or not. It's about how it lands, how it spreads, and how it sticks. You have to remember that Meghan right now is trying to do the PR of, I stick with the truth. I always go back on the truth when we all know that she doesn't tell the truth. Allegedly, just for legal reasons, I have to say that. But with that said, again, she is saying what she wants us to hear. This is why it is important, because it depends how it's going to stick with the audience. And let's be real, Meghan has built her brand on friendship optics, female empowerment, and a curated image. The narrative of her entire girl squad flipping on her, well, that's lethal, my friends. All right, let's read the article. All right, this is the savage article from Radar Online, and it is titled Meghan Markle's Sean Girl Squad is planning epic group takedown of Duchess. After Radar revealed her ex-best pal, Jessica Mulroney, is plotting to unleash a tell-all memoir. All right, these are the ladies. I recognize her and her, but I actually had to look up these two ladies because I knew absolutely nothing about them. And the article starts with Meghan Markle is facing the prospect of an epic group takedown from former friends who, insiders tell Radar Online, are preparing a joint documentary project for Netflix or a viral streaming platform. I would say just do it with Netflix. That would be hilarious. Just after we revealed her ex-best friend, Jessica Mulroney, is considering unleashing a tell-all book on the diva Duchess. 2025 is definitely not the year for Meghan. The Duchess of Sussex, 44, now based in Montecito with Prince Harry, 41, and their children, has seen several close relationships unravel since her marriage into the royal family in 2018. This is why the story would definitely 1000% sell. So Netflix, YouTube, any streaming platform, just pay these women because we would watch. Estranged friends plot explosive documentary. All right, it says from Canadian stylist Mulroney to television personality Stassi and Made in Chelsea star Millie, women who once championed Markle are now either estranged or openly critical. According to sources, some of them are now in talks to collaborate on a film that would shine a harsh light on their former friend. All right, again, I had to do some research on them. I don't even know who's Millie and who's Stassi. I don't know any of these women, but all I know is that Stassi was never really friends with Meghan, but she was like Meghan's #1 fan, or she claimed to be Meghan's #1 fan. And Millie was actually a friend of Meghan. One insider said there is a growing appetite among those who feel cast aside to tell their side of the story. A group project would be powerful. I bet it would. Yes, it would. And very damaging for Meghan. The mood is that enough is enough. Mulroney's fallout still haunts Markle. Yeah, it should. Mulroney, once described as Meghan Markle's keeper of secrets, was central to the Sussexes' wedding in 2018. Her twin sons carried the bride's train while her daughter Ivy served as a bridesmaid. But the friendship collapsed after Mulroney was accused of textbook white privilege in 2020. All right, let's go down over here. Paragraph, it says, a source close to the production talks claimed Jessica has been the focus because of her deep history with Meghan, but others are now stepping forward. The idea is a group documentary, multiple voices, one story, and all united against Meghan. Streamers are interested, as it's unlikely Netflix would pick it up due to their relationship with the Sussexes. All right, so this is Stassi. So Stassi, 37, once declared herself Markle's #1 fan, but recently renounced her loyalty on her podcast after failing to receive promotional gifts from the Duchess lifestyle brand. Oh my God, this makes me giggle. This is just like influencer noise in the background. She said, I literally defended her when no one else did. I'm furious. And this is the last straw. I'm not watching her show anymore. I'm going to unfollow her right now. Oh my goodness. Mackintosh, 35, and this is Millie right here. Millie, 35, has also spoken of feeling discarded by Markle. She claimed the Duchess sent her a blunt message in 2016 after she offered congratulations on her relationship with Harry. Millie recalled, I felt like she basically told me to F off in that message. So I did. And we haven't spoken since. Oh my goodness. Please release the text message. All right, and that is the end of the article. This piece lays out how Meghan's friendships have been unraveling since 2018, from Jessica Mulroney to the reality star Stassi to socialite Millie. And now, allegedly, these women are talking about teaming up for a group documentary. Multiple voices, one story, all united against Meghan, which honestly, it would make for an amazing documentary. I would watch it immediately. I don't care. Release it on YouTube. But for Meghan, this is a PR apocalypse waiting to happen. But for us, it is the best gift ever. Jessica, of course, is one of the big names here. She was once described as Meghan's keeper of secrets. Her kids were literally in Meghan's wedding, but after 2020 fallout over accusations of textbook white privilege, she lost contracts, and Meghan quietly hit the eject button. Now, insiders are whispering that Jessica could land a 7-figure book deal if she ever decides to spill. I mean, that's 7 figures. I'm sure anybody can make room in their bank account for 7 figures. And in publishing money, that screams somebody somewhere is thinking of spilling or selling the tea. Now, let's not ignore the others, because Stassi, even though she wasn't Meghan's friend, she once called herself Meghan's #1 fan and is now furious because she didn't get a PR box from Meghan as ever brand. Yes, apparently the downfall of a friendship, and I say that as loosely as possible, can be triggered by a Miss Gem jar box that wasn't sent. Welcome to influencer culture, because we know Meghan is now a social media influencer. But meanwhile, Millie Mackintosh claims that Meghan basically told her to F off in a text, or that's how she felt. That's not exactly sisterhood whatsoever. So why am I telling you all of this? Because stories like this, even if they are sensationalized, highlight the single biggest lesson in PR. Your brand is only as strong as your consistency and your relationships. If people around you start flipping, if every ex-friend feels discarded, and if insiders are chomping at the bite to tell their side of the story, then your image stops being yours and it becomes theirs. And there's actually a bigger problem for Meghan. This isn't one rogue ex-friend throwing shade. This is a group project. Multiple voices, multiple receipts. And if it ever lands on a streaming platforms, that means mass distribution. And you cannot spin your way out of multiple people saying the same thing or confirming what we already know. Now, let me tell you something, because these are my favorite kind of PR stories. Not because they're sensationalized, no, but because once people start whispering publicly, this probably has been happening in the background, but now it's on a podcast, interviews, straight to the press. that means the cat is already out of the bag. Jessica right now is denying the book, but still talking to reporters. Millie has gone on record about the icy text, and Stassi literally announced her rage on her podcast. This isn't private gossip in the background anymore. This is all public domain. And here's where it gets interesting. Once the whispers go public, there are really only a couple of roads left. The first one would be my favorite one. If they start contacting the survivors of the Sussex squad, the people who have worked with or been burned by Meghan in the past, personally, right? That would open Pandora's box that has been bubbling for years. But once you open that, you cannot control what's spilling out. Or two, which is my least favorite, Meghan goes into damage control mode, reaching out to these individuals personally, one by one, trying to patch things up, or more realistically, trying to silence them with NDAs, financial settlements, or some kind of PR band-aid. But the problem is, once multiple voices are circling, it's almost impossible to shut everyone up. You plug one leak, 3 more spring up. That is the danger from PR standpoint. The narrative is no longer yours to control. It becomes a group project, and in this case, the group seems motivated, angry, and ready to cash in. All right, guys, that is all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. I love reading your comments. And like my video because that helps me very much. And yes, thank you for those that have been liking my video. It does help me in the algorithm. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.